Welcome to our edible yard in North Florida. This is Zone 8B. We're kind of running this on a permaculture basis, no dig, some raised beds, perennials in the ground. And I'm just going to walk around. This is a video taken over a month period, so you'll see how things progress. And I'll show you some of the perennial edibles that are coming back up now, some annuals, and just some random nature shots. Enjoy! All the bananas, although they died back this winter, it was a cold one, they're all coming back. This is the banana circle, and they're doing good. And in the center, this is yard waste we don't put in the composter. It's different stuff like things that have weed seeds in them, some woody things. We keep piling that in the center, and the bananas are loving it. It keeps the moisture in. That's the olive tree, and I need to get the loofahs out of it. It's April the 3rd. The mustards are still blooming, and the spiderworts are blooming, and the blueberries are setting, and the garlics are getting bigger, and there's still some winter veg in there. Over here we still have carrots, and now the zucchinis are coming up. See if I can find it. I can't. This is a squirrel planted pecan. The cucumbers are coming up. They're still itty bitty, getting there. This is a lot of oregano. It's so young and fresh. That's pretty healthy peppermint and borage. And this is the bottom part of the moringa tree. We cut that off and it'll sprout out again, just like these guys over here. There's moringa everywhere. And despite the cool temperatures last night, it made it through. There, another cut down moringa, and the new shoots coming up. And then we also have chaya in here, tree spinach. That too is leafing out now. And the oxalis, ever so beautiful. And tastes good in salad. Gives it a little zing. And this is soon to be coriander. That's the cilantro. Yep, I found the new chaya leaves right there. We're over the hump for winter, I'm sure. So these will be pretty tall. They go about 6 feet in one season. Lots of blooms on the persimmon this year, it seems. Fingers crossed they stay. And the peach is still loaded. So far, I don't think the squirrels have figured it out. They should be ready soon. This is a really early variety. And they're good. The peaches are loaded and almost ripe. And this is the time the squirrels take an interest. So we put the little pets in there. Hopefully it'll keep them away. It's another one. Garden the whole peach. Can't wait to eat. Fresh peaches off the tree are so good. The grapes are leafing out. This looks messy here right now, but this is Mizuna, the Japanese mustard. And I usually let this bloom for the bees and other pollinators. And then it'll self-seed, so it's perpetual every year. Just like these wild radishes are. It's the first thing to bloom in winter. They're beautiful. And the grapes are blooming. These are all cuttings I took from our original grapevine. And it just goes all along the fence of the chicken yard. So in case there are dead grapes on it, stuff that falls off, the chickens get their part too. Baby apple. There are a lot more, but they're higher up, so I don't think they are all that visible. Calendulas and green beans in the herb spiral. They're doing very well so far. We had a gentle frost last night, but they pulled right through. Here are the massive, massive fig trees. This one is a celeste. And back there is the wood part. We don't do anything to that. It's for wildlife. And here is the other fig tree. Here they are. Lots of them. It's nicely loaded this year. I say another 2 months and the first ones should be ripe. Good morning, Emily. So many blackberries this year. We already ate some. The rest still needs a little bit of time. But the vine, the entire length, is loaded all the way down there. And they're so good and they are so big. The bottle brush is loaded. It's gotten so tall now. Hummingbirds love it and it has bees buzzing all over it. It's beautiful. This is one of the loquat trees. I don't even know how many we have, a lot. And look at all the fruit that's already on there. We're already eating, but some are still green and it'll last us a long time. It makes the best jam. Such abundance. Loquats are so giving. All the way up. So driving down the driveway, you can put the hands out the window and pick your fruit. And there are little leaves now on the pecans. This is the citrus grove, citrus orchard. Lots of blooms on this year and it smells delicious. This is a really, really huge orange. We got a lot of oranges from it and I still have juice in the pantry. Then there's a real lemon, not the ponderosa one, that's a Buddha's fist. Tangerine, lots of things in here. If you don't have room to plant citrus, keep it in a pot. It works just fine. This one is a blood orange and every year it makes beautiful blood oranges. There are a whole lot of them. Same for figs. This one is in a pot and it doesn't mind, it makes figs anyway. Juicy, yummy lettuce everywhere. Time to make a big bowl of salad again. Back here, the tangerine is just about done blooming, but I have a feeling we'll have a lot of tangerines again. There are blooms everywhere. It's just loaded and it smells so delicious. All this looks unmowed right now, but in reality it's all flowers, and in another week or two it'll be full with them. It'll be breathtaking. Same spot, 3 weeks later. Mulberries, so many all the way up, almost ready to eat. The birds are loving it. Guys, leave me some berries. The whole flock is coming in to eat the mulberries. At least they tend to eat the ones on top I can't eat anyway. Elderberries starting to bloom. I still have lots of berries, so I think this year we'll make some elderberry flower fritters. They're so good with applesauce or pear sauce. Having a good day so far? Still so many fajoya flowers, pineapple guava. Pick them and eat them. That tastes like candy. This is a cassava. It's a real mess. It's in the chicken yard. But it came back. Even though temperatures in the 20s, cassava comes back. It's easiest to grow starchy fruit in Florida, in my opinion. And the sugar cane's coming back. This grows so easy, but it's so super hard to extract the juice. So we'll just have some to chew on with cut little slivers. The pomegranates are blooming. I hope they set. This is actually grown from seed, from a pomegranate in the store. I've never had a fruit from it. It's still very young. but there's hope. Here's another pomegranate. This one is from a cutting, and I think this set because it's kind of firm and it's still on. These flowers are so gorgeous, the hummingbirds love them. This is okinawa spinach. It's dark maroon purple on the underside of the leaves. This is a big surprise. It was completely unprotected and it made it through the cold winter. And this is longevity spinach. I prefer that. The okinawa gets a bit slimy. This one's really good as a filler in soups and stews. It doesn't really have a taste, but it's healthy. And that too made it through winter. Seminole pumpkin is sprouting. It's doing good. Last year we had a massive harvest. A lot of my brassicas went to seed this year. This is broccoli, I believe. And I'll let this, well, it bolted before we could even eat any, but we ate leaves and we did eat flowers. And then the flowers are loved by the bees. So instead of putting it in the compost, I'll collect these in the bucket. And look at all these seeds. Now, because they cross-pollinate so readily, I won't keep these to grow new broccoli plants next year, but I do make microgreens with them. The parsley did so well this year. There are several in there. There's one tucked back there. This is a carrot going to bloom. More parsley, more parsley. But now it's getting hot, and before it bolts, it's time to harvest so I can dehydrate it. This should last us until the next cold season comes. Plus I always keep one plant in the shade here under the mulberry tree. So we still have some pretty good into summer for fresh eating. Now to clear out the rest of the bed. What can go now. Like lettuce going to seed over there, except this one. If I can reach it. This is endive, and endive makes the most beautiful blue blooms. They look like straw flowers, so I always leave them. They have an upright habit, so it's not like they take up much space, but I enjoy the flowers. Lettuce cross-pollinates too, so it's possible to carry over the seeds, but what comes out of it might be a surprise. There's a volunteer pecan here. I'm not sure what to do with this, probably transplant it. It just came up. And then over there's already tomatoes going. And from now on I can take cuttings from that tomato plant and just put it all in this raised bed and the other one, and then put a dense packing of marigolds in between for the color. Maybe it helps for the bugs. I don't know if it's myth or truth. Look at this guy munching along. You may have that lettuce, too bitter for me now. This is the reason I don't take cilantro out when it blooms. All the flowers with umbels, they attract so many little pollinators and beneficials, especially those little wasps. You would not want to miss out. Carrots do the same thing, yarrow does, fennel does too. This is the fennel, and a lot of these little guys are parasitic. So they will lay eggs in the tomato hornworms and the armyworms and all this. Look, it's just full. Wasps, everything. I love this. Plus, fennel blooms are so gorgeous, especially when it rains on it. Lots of wheel bugs on the prowl right now. I hope they all go after my stink bugs. Gotta be careful, that sting hurts. Oh, he is going after stink bug. The stink bug's right there. Sneaking up. Sneaking up. Stink bug tries to get away. Why? I'm gonna film it. Oh. I guess I have to kill that stink bug myself. That's the brown marmorated one. He's waiting for my tomatoes to ripen. This is a still healthy Brussels sprouts plant. I've been growing Brussels sprouts for 13 years in Florida, and I never ate a single Brussels sprout, but I keep growing them. One year the miracle will happen, I know it. Baby beans, not much longer. Can't wait to eat, even though I still have some canned up from last year and some frozen. I was really late getting my tomatoes out this year, but they're setting nicely. And I do put these organza baggies over them. I'm not taking any chances. Stink bugs, birds, whatever nature's thieves are. I want some tomatoes this year. I trim all my tomatoes, all leaves, up to the first flower or fruit set. Like this one I could still, where am I here? I could still take this away because the bloom's not until up there. And then where from the crotch where this crotch sucker comes out, it's usually comes out at the intersection of a leaf. I cut them out. This one's still a little too little. I let it go a little bit more and I'll just stick it in the ground in another spot where I want a tomato and it keeps going forever. Last year I experimented growing between bricks and I really have to pull the weeds out there. But this year I'll do it again. That's a tomato because they did so well. They don't get backsplash, so they're not so susceptible to virus. It works. Another one. Carrots. Oh, bummer. Another carrot. This too might just be a baby. That's quite nice. I had seeded them in stages, so some are younger, like the guys in there. We'll still have them in a couple weeks, and then carrot season is over. That was it for the garden tour. If you like, stick around. I'm going to take a walk all through our flower meadow. This is Coreopsis. It's a Florida state flower, and it's just so gorgeous. If you don't want to stick around, thanks for watching. It's almost like being in a dream. All this started out with just a tiny amount of seeds. They multiply exponentially over the years. Nature is amazing.